Now that you have learnt about the different types of legal structures, it's time to look at the processes that you will need to follow to create the right legal structure for your business. This could be in the form of a sole proprietorship, a general partnership, a limited liability company, or a limited liability partnership.
In case of sole proprietorship, there is no formal registration required. To get started with the same, all you need to do is open a bank account in the name of the proprietorship firm. So that's as simple as it gets. You think of a name of your sole proprietorship firm, which could even carry on business in your personal name, or you can have a separate name. A sole proprietorship is not a separate legal entity, and that brings us back to the issue of unlimited liability. So once you think of a name of your sole proprietorship and open a bank account, you are good to carry out business in the name of the sole proprietorship. Next, we come to a general partnership. As far as the registration of the partnership firm is concerned, a partnership comes into existence by creating and signing a partnership deed. Then whether you want to register the deed with any regulatory authority, which is the Register of Firms, is entirely at the discretion of the partners. So to create a partnership firm, all you need to do is get your partnership deed in place, which sets out the key commercials between the various partners, namely, what is the name of the partnership firm, what is the capital contribution ratio? Are the two partners contributing capital equally? Are they distributing or being entitled to profits equally? That is in proportion to the capital, or are they separate? Where capital is, let's say, in the ratio of 50-50, but profits could still be distributed in the ratio of 60-40 or even 80-20, depending upon the deliverables of each of the partners. The partnership deed would include all these points, and it's very important to set it forth in the deed, including what are the duties and powers of each partner, and also what is the nature and place of business. It may be done before starting the business or any time during the continuance of partnership. It would be necessary to register your venture before you intend to approach the court in case of any legal dispute. So also for any eligible tax benefits, it is always recommendable to register your partnership deed, because unlike a company where registering it with the ROC entails various periodic compliances, a general partnership at the end of the day just stops at getting your partnership deed registered. Your compliance requirements as such are not as regulated. Now we come to a private limited company. For registering a private limited company, first you need to obtain something what is called a DIN, which is a Director Identification Number, which is a unique identification number which is given to an existing or potential director of the company. Next, you need to get a digital certificate, a digital signature certificate, which is called your DSC, which is the digital equivalent of a physical certificate. Then you will have to file a proposed name for the company for the Register of Companies, or ROC, the authority having jurisdiction over the incorporation, and get it approved. So as we go over each of the steps for a private limited company, you will start to realize that unlike a sole proprietorship or general partnership, there are various sequence of events that need to be followed. Not just procedural things like getting a DIN or a DSC or getting your name approved, but also the level of documents that you need to file. The most critical filing process, or rather the more detailed oriented formation step in a company, is something called its charter documents, which is the Memorandum of Association, which is called the MOA, and the Articles of Association, which is the AOA. So the memorandum sets forth the objects of the company, what the company plans to do, what is the capital of the company. The AOA is more like setting out what are the rules, like the bylaws of the company, stating what the company can do and what is freely permissible. So overall, these are fairly procedural aspects where once you decide the type of entity, you can engage a consultant to help you with these formation steps, because whether it's obtaining a DIN or even drafting these charter documents, while there are several precedents and access to this kind of information, these are points of discussion with your consultant, whether it's your CA or your company secretary, to understand what kind of terms should be there upfront so that you don't keep wasting time amending your articles to carry out the kind of actions. Finally, you will have to submit all the documents we just discussed to the Registrar of Companies, which is the registrar, the entity which is responsible for regulating the development and management of all companies that are set up either as a private limited company or a public limited company. Lastly, we come down to LLP, which is your limited liability partnership. The process for registering an LLP is broadly similar to that of a private limited company in terms of all the paperwork and the initial steps that you need to follow, namely like getting a DIN, the DSC, and also applying for the proposed name to the ROC. Once the LLP name is approved, you need to submit incorporation form to the ROC. And after the incorporation of the LLP, you will have to draft an LLP agreement which includes clauses like the liability of the partners, their rights and duties, basically all the things we just saw in a general partnership structure. Once you have all of these set out in the partnership deed, you will file this with the ROC to complete the registration process.